Hi there, I am Sydney Brown and I am the memoir mastermind. And I'm here to help you figure out how to use the benefits of journaling to learn how to share your stories better. Now, if you're wanting to write a memoir, which is typically what I help people do, then I'm definitely going to give you some tips for that. But in addition to that, even if you just like having conversations with people, maybe you're out at a party or something and you get tired of that awkward feeling where you can't tell the funny stories of your life. You may want to learn how to do that. Now, though I usually do help people with writing more than just storytelling, I do believe that journaling is one of those things that really can help you improve just basic storytelling as well. So we're gonna include that into what we're talking about. So what we're going to go into here is, the world of journaling, and how it helps you prepare to share your story with others. Journaling is a powerful tool of self-expression, personal growth, and creativity. In this video, we're going to explore the benefits of journaling in the context of preparing to share your stories, whether it's through a memoir or personal essay or some other form of writing. Do go ahead and grab grab your paper and your pen, your notebook, or if you prefer, get your fingers ready and let's get going on into the benefits of journaling. So we're going to specifically talk about the top 10 benefits of journaling for with the intention of preparing to share your story. That's really the best way for people to communicate with each other, to bond and form that connection with each other and get that deeper connection. You do that by sharing your stories with each other. And sometimes that's in a two-way conversation, but sometimes that's you telling your story, just one direction, or writing your story and letting your reader read it. It doesn't matter how it's conveyed, as long as you have learned how to kind of, get the best of your stories across to your reader or the person across from you. So it's really important that, in my opinion, you start with something very easy like journaling. Journaling is one of these things, like when I have my students, we do a 1-year plan. And in that 1 year, I recommend that they spend a minimum of 2 to 3 months just journaling their ideas and journaling and reflecting on their time of that story, that the timeline, because it's very important that they really get the most out of it themselves, and then they can go ahead and share the story better. So here is the top 10 benefits of journaling as it relates to preparing for sharing your stories. So number 1, memory preservation. The reality is we don't remember things from when we were, 20, 30 years ago as well as we sometimes think we do. Usually it's more that we remembered 18 years ago and that we reminded ourselves of what we remembered at the time. And then the next time we think about it, we're like, you kind of fill in the gaps of what you think you remember. And, there's always some things that you may not remember completely right. So memory preservation is really important as far as journaling, because when you have the time, when you give yourself the time to do that, it really does make it easier to preserve the experience because you can read back later. But it makes it easier to recall details, because you'll kind of lead yourself through the steps of what happened. Like that Easter, I have this picture, this is a true story. I have this picture of me when I was maybe 4, I'm guessing maybe 4. And I had little pigtails and a pink little dress, and it was Easter morning. And I remembered the picture. I think I had an Easter basket even. Anyway, I didn't remember that Easter, but I remembered, this is going to sound weird, I remembered that Easter through that picture. So, a couple years later, I would look in the photo album with my parents, and I would see, oh, there I am. And yeah, I remember eating that candy. Yeah, I remember this. I remember that hunt. I remember that's when we got that dog. And then, years later, you see the picture again, and you remember the things you spoke about. I remember the candy. I remember the Easter egg hunt. I remember the dog. So when you speak about it and think about it, it preserves those memories longer. And it's really important. So if you want something that you want to remember, just keep talking about it. Keep it fresh in your mind. Now, that doesn't mean you have to live in your memories forever. But for some of those really great memories, it doesn't hurt to kind of reflect, because it does help preserve that memory. Number 2, and the top 10 benefits, emotional processing. Journaling allows you to explore and process your emotions, gives you a deeper understanding of your experiences. If it were a bad experience and you remember being terrified and crying or screaming, but you go back and you journal about it later, you might remember, oh gosh, I was thinking of it in my 6-year-old brain, and I didn't understand that this is a normal situation. And I was just getting my, I don't know, maybe I was just getting my shots or something, that every kid in the world has to do. And oh man, that is not an intended trigger for anyone who is anti-vax or pro. But whatever your memory is, sometimes when you look back at it later, you see it from a different perspective, and it's actually it's good and healthy for you to be able to kind of process those emotions differently now that you're able to see them differently. Number 3, plain and simple writing practice. When you're journaling, you're free writing, you're just kind of allowing yourself to do whatever. But in the same aspect of that, anytime you're writing, you're getting better. Whether you realize it or not, you're getting better. So journaling, writing of any sort is a great thing to do every single day. Number 4, self-awareness. Journaling promotes this self-reflective time and emotion. It helps you gain insights into your thoughts. Like I kind of was saying before, it helps you think how you used to think, and then maybe see it differently now, and you just kind of become more self-aware of your growth and your development over the years. And so that's a really good thing. Number 5, story development. Now, story development is really helpful when you are journaling, because as you do this, you kind of identify patterns and themes, connections, things in your life that maybe you were making you're in a maybe a self-destructive pattern of decisions. And by doing that, you're able to really hone in on your story and your plot lines and stuff. So as you do that, you're realizing, okay, so it wasn't just a bunch of different things that happened to me. Maybe, okay, so maybe I'll add some complexity to my story, and I'll say, I was making bad choices here, and maybe I was drinking too much, or maybe I was doing drugs. I mean, I'm whatever it is for each individual person. Just kind of being aware of yourself and who you were at the time, and developing that story so that your reader can come out on the other end with that happy ending. Hopefully your story is a happy ending or an overcomer story of some sort. It's not always, and that's okay too. Number 6, creativity boost. So when you're journaling, it really can help you. Uh, it fosters this creative thinking, and when you get into that creative mindset, I don't know if you've ever had brainstorming sessions, but once you open up that more creative part of your brain, it just kind of starts pouring out. And when you get that, man, just take advantage of it. Right. Just let it fall out of you, because in doing that, you just have just a lot of really great content that you can put into your story later. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense in this journaling aspect, but you'll make it make sense later. So that's the creativity boost, though. You want to open the floodgates there. Um, Number 7, organizing thoughts. Journaling can actually also help clarify and organize your thoughts, making it easier for you to structure your outline. And because your outline has to make sense. Your outline after journaling doesn't have to make sense. Journaling is therapeutic. Outlining needs to make sense. So as you go through here and you carry it over into your outline, you can easily just say, okay, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and it makes sense that way. So through doing that, you can't get here if you didn't first just let it all pour out. Number 8, and I love this one because confidence is very important to me. Journaling boosts your confidence, because the more you journal, the more confident you should become, because your ability to express your thoughts, your emotions, the your goals, everything just really has the ability to hone in and to laser in on what you feel, what you and communicate that. It's just it really does improve you as a person, as far as communication and stuff. But as you find that you're able to better communicate, you become more confident. Number 9, overcoming writer's block. Now, writer's block is something that a lot of people maybe even overuse the term, because they're talking about, I just don't know what to write. I've got writer's block. That's maybe overused, because the reality is when you have writer's block, you're stuck, and you just can't get anything good. And it does happen, but journaling actually, well, remember what I said, when you open up that creativity floodgate, journaling helps do that. And then your writer's block should be very minimal, really, really minimal. And then finally, number 10, emotional preparation. As you are journaling and going through those emotional journeys again, you obviously, I hope that you don't re-traumatize yourself, but usually you're able to see things differently, feel things differently, feel things less, maybe is another way to say it. And in doing that, you strengthen yourself. So as you go through journaling, then bring it into your writing, you're able, because right here you're just repeating it again. And when you're just repeating something again, it's taken that power away, and you're recapturing your strength. So in doing that, it makes you stronger and better able. And I'll be honest, as you go through and repeat and repeat and repeat, I found personally that I don't end up feeling powerless or scared or victim anymore. And I genuinely believe that through journaling and taking it a step at a time, it helped me personally be able to just get better, get stronger. All right, guys, I am going to move on to the next chapter. Hey, hey, Sydney Brown back again. So we've talked a little bit about the top 10 benefits of journaling in preparation for, sharing and learning how to share your stories, as, whether it's writing or actually speaking it. So we talked about, the benefits of it, but how do you do it? And so now we're going to do the top 10 journaling tips for aspiring storytellers. Now, if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I have tons of these, as well as entire free courses about writing and writing your personal memoirs, different things like that are absolutely free on here. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and comment so that I can keep this free for everybody to benefit. So without further ado, the top 10 journaling tips for aspiring storytellers. Number 1, be consistent. Now, shoot for, a regular journaling session, whether it's, 10, 15 minutes before you go to bed every night, whether it's, the first 10 or 15 minutes when you wake up in the mornings and you have, if you drink coffee or whatever it is, try to turn it into a habit and let it be something that you kind of sometimes have to force yourself to do at first. But after some time, you'll realize it's become very therapeutic and you look forward to that. So be consistent with it, create the habit, and improve your writing skills actually too. So number 2, set aside dedicated time. When you schedule the time for journaling, it creates not only in reality, but it lets your mind know you're in control and that this is a priority to you, and it will just automatically become something that is easier to become a habit and to become productive with that time, instead of just sitting there and like what do I do, because at first it may be a little bit awkward. Number 3, choose a comfortable, I guess is the way to say it, a comfortable medium. Now that can be whatever works for you. You can have a notebook, you can have your iPad, you can have an actual diary, you can just do a spiral bind, whatever it is that works for you, that feels good. You want to be able to write in a way that you feel safe with it. And that's really important. Allow yourself to inspire yourself. Number 4, write without any judgment. And understand the only way you're going to do that is if you realize that this is something for you, by you. You're not doing this in your journaling anyway. You're not doing the journal for anybody else. Nobody else ever has to see what you write. This is where you put your deepest, your secrets that you maybe not even admit to yourself. You know what I mean? Let it be that serious, that open, and allow yourself to get through it by just absolutely pouring out of yourself and onto those pages. So write without any judgment. Give yourself permission to write absolutely freely. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about style, perfection of any sort. Don't worry about judgment, period. Okay. Number 5, and I recommend this to all people who are just getting started on journaling, because it can be kind of hard to know what to write about at first. But use prompts. When you have writing prompts, it can inspire self-reflection, help you explore various aspects of your life and experiences. So because I have a year-long program that I have with people, and when they, were first getting started, they may not know what to even journal. And so I have, like, I remember my first job promotion, and my very first job promotion was when, and you just finish that sentence, and if you've never had a job promotion, then you can, change it a little bit and say, I got fired. I remember the day I got fired from this job, whatever you want. But when you have a writing prompt, it will let you write what you know for a fact to be true. And once you start that writing process, and it starts to allow your next thoughts to be preparing, so it just becomes so much simpler to get into your creativity. So number 6, reflect on your entries. So why would you journal if you never plan to go back and look at it? Sometimes people don't, and I've seen people who have just stacks of journals full of their years of journaling. And I asked one person that I'm thinking of right now, and he said, I kind of go back every now and then. I'll just grab a random one, and I'll open it up to a random day, and I'll read, and I'll reflect back on that memory. So in that, he was allowing himself some good memories, some bad memories, but he did it at random. So it was whenever, like maybe fate wanted him to reflect on something. Maybe at that point in time, he was finally able to, really think of something from a different perspective, or whatever. But you know what? Imagine if you had those, I don't know how many there were, but let's say 20 journals just full of stuff from an entire lifetime, and you decided to write a memoir. You've already got all of the research right there. You know what you thought at the time, and you were writing it to yourself, so you weren't lying. You told the truth. So things like that really can help you if you decide to share your story at a later time. You don't have to share your stories. You never have to. But I will tell you, you have stories in you that other people need to hear. It's up to you to decide if you want to share them. But as you go back through and reflect, you don't have to every month go back and read them all or anything like that. There's no rules to what you do. You do what you choose, and you go back and reflect as you choose. But imagine if you just had stacks of journals. I don't even have stacks of journals. His self-discipline was very admirable, and I was pretty amazed. Not very many people that I've met do that. And just, he has a treasure trove of stories, that at any given time he could share the one story, and maybe that's going to be a bestseller one day. We don't know. But just have your journals and save them, and then go back and I like the idea of just kind of randomly spot rereading something. kind of trusting the universe to let you know when it's time to read something again. Number 7, embrace vulnerability. Be open, be honest with yourself. And because when you're journaling, you're doing it to help yourself, to help your future self, to help your current self, and to deal with some of your past self. So when you're doing that, be honest with yourself. Don't lie, because it doesn't do you any good if you say something that makes you feel better about yourself today, because it won't have been authentic. So make sure that you embrace your vulnerability, and that you're just totally open and honest with yourself, because it's that in a later time that is going to make your story amazing. Number 8, and this is something that I really enjoy doing, incorporate visuals. You can do drawings or photos. Obviously, when photo albums still existed, I guess some people probably still have them. But when you have those photo albums, you can like go page, and all of the memories just come flooding back, and you can remember so much. Visuals are so important to helping you release that flood dam of the memories and the emotions. So if you have photos, absolutely use them. It will do wonders for you. Number 9, experiment with formats. So when I say that, I'm talking about, you can do lists or letters to yourself, or a dialogue, conversation, how it played out, whatever you want. Make the writing something that you enjoy doing, because you want to keep doing it. So if you get bored with it, you're not going to keep doing it. So find ways to kind of keep it interesting for yourself. No one else has to read it. Just keep it interesting for you. That's also why when I do this, I often will do the top 10s of things, because people digest things when they know there's 10 things, or however many. And at number 5, they know, okay, so I'm 5 down, I've got 5 more to go. So if they start getting impatient or losing interest, they know, okay, so I'm already on 9, I only have 1 more to go. So then they'll stick with it. Use lists and things like that to your advantage. Finally, number 10, protect your privacy. Ensure that your journal is kept in a safe place, somewhere private, especially if you're exploring those sensitive topics that you are doing for your own benefit, to yourself only. You don't want to be afraid of anything you write being put into someone else's hands. So while you may not need to put it under lock and key or in, a safe or anything, just use some common sense, and don't necessarily just leave your deepest secrets out on your nightstand. Just be careful, protect yourself a little bit, and just, that way you'll feel like you're able to open up further, because you know that no one's going to see it. All right, guys. So there you have it, the benefits of journaling for and preparing for sharing your stories. By incorporating journaling into your daily routines, you'll be able to, do a lot of things, develop yourself, develop your storytelling skills, strengthen your ability to say some of the things that are hard to say, because the power will be, you'll be gaining the power instead of losing power. As you go through this, you are going to make more exciting and more engaging narratives. All right, guys, as always, thank you for watching. I'm Sydney Brown. Please go ahead and comment below, like and subscribe. I'm doing my best to keep all of this educational and free. And by subscribing and liking, you help me do that for everybody. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.